Good evening, everybody. I'm Stu the Frugal Video Gamer, and welcome back to the Infectious Madness of Dr.
Midnight
Dekker.
each day.
On Valentine's night,
Time as you know it freezes.
20 minutes past 10.
Keep up, Doctor.
Thinks we're going to smother her in her sleep.
I'm a grave digger, Doctor.
I was at home,
David is my husband.
all on my lonesome.
Stabbed him with a steak knife.
Nothing.
Oh yes, and
I'm
we
a
found out
qualified
that,
angel of death.
that
I'm
Claire's
not
husband
This day
is
over
now
and
dead.
over.
Hilda.
I black out
I don't think she's got long.
And I
And
believe...
Laurie just
naked on the beach.
Hannah.
Is that it for today?
David hunts.
I can change.
Okay, good, I'm able to skip through. Because, let's see, Claire's arrest report. Oh. At 20:40 hours on Tuesday, the 8th of November, myself and PC 9725 Holt responded to a call received from a neighbor of the Bauer House, Weston Park Avenue, concerning a reported disturbance. Oh. We arrived at the address and knocked on the front door, but there was no reply. We then examined the rear of the property and gained entry through insecure patio doors. We entered the property through this door, and I announced myself by shouting "Police," but did not hear any response. We searched the premises. Upon entering the dining room, I saw a female seated next to a man who was lying on the ground. The man did not appear to be conscious. Both persons were drenched in blood, and there was a substantial amount of blood on the carpet, walls, and furniture. I noted what appeared to be a steak knife on the floor, which was also covered in blood. At this point, I asked the woman to put her hands on her head, which she did. PC Holt secured the female while I checked the man for signs of life, but found none. I asked the woman her name, and she identified herself to me as Claire Castleford. I asked if she knew the dead man, and she said he was her husband, David Castleford. I asked what had happened, and she said that she had killed him. Following a search by PC Holt, which revealed no other persons present at the house, I said to Castleford at 20:52 hours, "You are under arrest on suspicion of murder." I then cautioned her and placed her in the back of the police car for the transportation to Weston Park Police Station, where I relayed the circumstances of the arrest to PC 235 Hill, who authorized her arrest, I'm assuming. Dekker's resignation letter. Crime scene report. Oh, okay, this is Dr. Dekker. Victim was located in his office, seated on a chair behind the desk, soaked in blood with an obvious chest wound. A paper spike, desk accessory, 150 millimeters long, protruding from the approximate region of the victim's heart. Estimated from liver temperature measurements to be between 8:30 and 10:30 p.m. Oh! Victim's body reportedly discovered at 10:20 p.m. Exsanguination due to punctuation of the left anterior descending coronary artery. Death would have occurred within minutes. Okay. So,
I burned Hannah's rocking chair. The day moved forward. It was a good choice. I'm not sure I've got much left of hers now. I've burnt most of it, or given it away, just to make the days move
okay,
forward.
the give it away was what I wanted him to
There
do
was
with
a
the
moment
rocking chair.
when I was attacking a Salvation Army bin. I gave in. I accidentally put Hannah's diary into a Salvation Army donation bin.
Oh.
They're like huge post boxes with a circular tray that makes sure things spill to the bottom.
Yeah.
I tried to get in to get it back, but I gave up. I read the last few weeks of Hannah's diary a while ago. I must have accidentally dropped in some clothes for the Salvation Army bin. It's funny, because I wasn't going to read it. She said she'd fallen out of love with me.
Oh.
She was going to break off the engagement.
Oh.
That she didn't love me anymore. I regretted it. Can we maybe not talk about Hannah anymore? And thanks for the dating advice, by the way.
Okay, fair. So, let's see. Any other regrets?
I regretted that I mourned for Hannah so long. I regret the grief. I regret all the days I slept through because of it. Had I known she didn't love me anymore, things would have been different. I'm a bit angry now. If I had that day over again, I may just still pull out in front of the driver. Like I said, it takes something like a tragic event to move my day forward. I do more and more bizarre things to try and get things moving. It's a curse, like I said.
Bizarre things?
I intentionally cut myself,
No,
publicly
Jesus.
humiliate myself, I steal things, I hurt people around me, just enough to get another day to start. I ran out of people around me pretty quickly.
Who have you hurt?
Sorry, drawing a blank.
Damn.
I've got nothing.
Fair enough. Okay.
You told me not to look for anyone else until I was ready. So I didn't. I've just been sitting at home, reading Hannah's diary, stewing. I ordered a pizza. A nice girl delivered it.
Nice girl.
It took a week of days to get that pizza girl to smile.
Oh.
And you know what did it? A tip, as much as the pizza cost. So money does make you happy. If I cared about money that much, I wouldn't be working at a supermarket. I'm just trying to care about something at the moment.
What do you care about?
That's not really...
Damn. Care about something, maybe?
I'm not trying to hide anything.
Damn. Yeah, what else can you tell me about
I've told you all I know about Dr. Dekker. He started out good, then turned a bit crazy towards the end. When you start giving people more problems as a therapist, that's a bit crazy.
Committed. I'm assuming because of questions I've asked. More problems?
Started out with depression. Now I seem to repeat days. Even if you don't believe the repeat days, then I clearly have extra mental health problems that he's given me. I think that he possibly cursed other people, a bit like he cursed me. Sometimes you could see he was bursting to tell me about it, but he couldn't. He was ecstatic with power.
He was power hungry?
No.
Oh. Fair enough. Oh, there we go. How did Dekker curse you?
Curse. Well, remembered. I was hoping you'd forget. It's going to sound crazy.
Yeah, the loop.
Dr. Dekker said I would never be able to move forward until I came to terms with my grief. And so from this point on, I start to relive the same day over and over again until I made something of it. I believed him.
Could your belief fulfilled the curse? Fair enough. Oh,
I didn't
there
want
we
to
go.
believe him. I remember I said, you can't just say things and they happen. He laughed and laughed. I think he was going mad. He said he'd give me a demonstration.
Demonstration?
He held his hand outstretched and told me to look at the flame. There was no flame, and then there was. He was holding a flame in his hand that had come out of nowhere. And he tried to hypnotize me to make me forget it. I
Gnosis.
didn't forget seeing the flame. He wanted me to forget it all, but I didn't. For whatever reason, he couldn't undo what he'd done. I was scared. I pretended like the hypnosis had worked.
Could the hypnosis have caused the loop? Darn. I was hoping that would... Yeah, why were you... Oh, yeah, why did you
He'd
want to
become
forget?
bored of me, so I got much of my insight from calls or messages he'd take during our sessions. I think because he hypnotized me, he didn't want to play with me anymore, so I got basic therapist.
Play with you.
That doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah,
He told me
basic
lots of
therapist.
people get depression. To become more active, see more people. And although he wouldn't always be there to listen, Jaya would be. Yeah, I talked to her quite a lot.
I have a feeling
I'm not sure how many days of
Jaya.
that she'd remember. She seemed to care, which is more I can say for Dekker.
Oh boy. I suspect Jaya may be pulling the plot.
No.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I talked to her quite a lot. I'm not sure.
I
how
kind of
many
like
days
this
of that
effect
she'd
for
remember.
showing the replay.
She seemed to care, which is more I can say for Dekker.
Jaya cared more.
I was scared what Dr. Dekker would do to me if he found out I still knew. So I had to play along. Keep coming to the sessions. Pretend I hadn't seen what he'd done. It was awful, because I was suffering through the same days over and over again. But I couldn't talk to him about it, because he'd know. I didn't notice Dr. Dekker had a paper spike. I haven't really seen more than a foot in front of me since Hannah died.
Did you hurt Dekker to break a loop?
I didn't kill Dr. Dekker. I wanted to be as far away from him as possible.
Oh.
I don't know who did.
Oh, there we go.
I'm fine. I'm ready for my grief counselling. I emailed you Mariana's address. I don't know why you'd want it. I suppose you're going to start doing home visits now, like Dr. Dekker?
Oh.
I think you'll find there's more than one question there, Doctor.
Fair enough.
You're asking about...
Crap. Home visits. Okay.
Yes, Dr. Dekker started doing home visits for Mariana. He said she couldn't concentrate properly in his office. I hope you're not thinking of doing the same thing. I need you right where I can see you. Checks and balances, Doctor. Somebody needs to be watching the watchman, so to speak.
Fair enough. Breaches of
Make sure you're
confidence.
helping, not hindering.
Hindering.
He probably did his fair share of helping and hindering. He was definitely helping in the beginning, but then seemed to lose sight of things.
Oh,
I
there we
think
go.
he was so overwhelmed by the patients he was getting. His curiosity just got the better of him. There was a definite turning point.
Turning point.
Somewhere around the time Professor Alderby turned up, that seemed
Oh, yeah,
to
with the-
unsettle him.
With the
And then
glass.
we had a flood of extra weird patients. I think it was all too much for him. I think I misjudged him.
Flood
I
of
hope
patience.
you deal with it better. No.
Damn. Misjudged
There's
him.
just a lot of crazy flying around, Doctor. Don't catch any of it.
Any news on Ben?
I think that's all settled now. We are agreeing to pay Ben £5,000 and he's agreeing not to say anything about what he saw.
What did he
He
see?
thought he saw a creature coming out of Dr. Dekker's mouth.
Ooh.
At least that's the reason he's given for not emptying the bins that night. Either way, it's not the kind of publicity that we need. Shiny, happy, sane people.
Creature?
I don't know. I didn't really speak to Nathan that much at all, but I have this strange feeling that I know him really well.
Loot days, probably.
Can't quite put my finger on it.
Deja vu?
Have you been taking notes in our session, Doctor?
Anything else to
Some
share
mornings I
about
come
Dekker?
into work and still expect him to be here. Sometimes it feels like he actually is here, watching over me. We had a connection. It's gone now, though. You can't have a connection with the dead, can you? Not for too long, anyway.
Okay, so connection and... What was the other one I picked up on? Connection and watching over you. There we go.
That's a strange question.
Eh.
Dr. Dekker asked me to have dinner with him for Valentine's. I refused, obviously, because you don't sleep where you eat or something like that. But
It's an
it
S
was
word.
flattering, especially with competition like Mariana around.
Competition?
Sorry, I didn't mean I was competing. I was happy Mariana was going out with him. I didn't want to be romantic with him. We had a stronger connection than that.
Stronger connection?
Dr. Dekker and I shared some philosophy. We'd both read The Cult of the Kinetic Mind, and we agreed with a lot of what it said. Have you read that book, Doctor?
No, I haven't read.
I don't know everything.
Darn it.
In Cult of the Kinetic Mind, the author suggests that everyone is capable of psychokinesis and that the cult leaders specifically had these powers that turned their followers into disciples. It's not a fun read, but if you're into psychology, it's a blast.
I suspect that she's the cult leader here. What's psychokinesis?
Psychokinesis is the ability to change the physical world without actually touching it, just by using your mind. It's not just about bending spoons.
So-
It covers all sorts of things like telepathy, telekinesis, telesabalas. Shoot me, I'm a Kojak fan.
Okay, I was about to say. Kojak?
Like I said, all those cool things are in Cult of the Kinetic Mind, apart from Kojak, obviously. If you ever get a patient who thinks they can change the world with just their mind, then duck, just in case they can. But seriously, do a whole load of shrinking and make them
We've got,
better.
at minimum,
Whether you
2.
believe in psychokinesis or not, you'll need to figure out your approach with those that do.
Such as you.
You're overthinking.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, cryokinesis, there's cryokinesis, pyrokinesis, telekinesis, cryokinesis being the ability to lower the temperature, pyro being able to set things aflame. Oh, what
How
approach?
do you make people who think they have special powers better? Do you remain passive and support, encourage them, take them away?
Take them away?
That's what I'd try to do. That's not something.
Darn. Eh. It's psychokinesis
No,
common.
not at all in my experience. Dr. Dekker had an unusual number of patients who claimed psychokinesis.
To an extent or
Either he'd
something.
been specifically looking for them or someone had been sending them.
Yeah. Yeah, why
It's
would someone send them
entirely
here?
possible that someone is targeting this practice with psychokinetic patients. To what end, I don't know. It's no coincidence that most psychokinetic patients are diagnosed as insane, or at least temporarily insane. It's a handy diagnosis if you're facing criminal prosecution. especially if it's for murder. Nope.
Fair enough. Prosecution, maybe.
I don't know.
Darn. Shall we talk about grief today?
Grief is such a strange word if you keep saying it. Grief, grief, grief. It sounds like somebody's being whipped. And you're gonna ask me how I feel today?
I did right off the bat. Yeah, see? Even the game agrees with me.
I was at home on my lonesome, Doctor, like I said before. No.
Yeah, fair enough. Why would I want Mariana's
Doctor,
address?
if you don't want it, don't text me and ask for it. It's all right. I don't mind doing menial tasks for you. Someone has to do them.
I didn't text you. So I'm gonna have to ask Mariana about that.
It's in that police report that I gave to you. You should really take a look at it.
Oh, why does... There we go.
Oops. That was a strange thing to say, wasn't it? Whipped. Am I all whips and chains in the bedroom or dominant in the boardroom? Don't answer that, it's not a question. It's early days for a harassment suit yet. What with Ben's nervous shock already. Have you been taking notes?
Fair enough.
Oops. That was a strange thing to say, wasn't it? Whipped. Am I all whips and chains in the bedroom?
Yeah. Yeah, why couldn't
Honestly,
she...
I think Dr. Dekker had a bit of a crush on Mariana.
She's definitely a
or
seductress.
Vice versa. I'm not really sure. There's some footage from their home sessions if you want to see them.
Footage?
I don't know.
Yeah, show me the footage.
That was a joke, Doctor. I guess we found our level.
Oh.
Dr. Dekker did send me to see his mother once. She was dying in a nursing home and he didn't want to see her. I remember him calling her a manipulative, evil old hag.
So...
Tend not to ask any more questions after that.
What nursing home?
You're overthinking.
Drat. Because, yeah, I'm immediately connecting that to Elin. On that one. How are you today?
I'm okay. Thanks for asking. It's rent day, and I always feel a little blue on rent day.
A little blue?
I pay my rent to a landlady. I don't own my own place. I'm just passing through. I never stay in one town very long. I get bored too easily. Once you've seen the same faces over and over again, you move. Like I said before, I like to move around a lot.
Bored? Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. What's rent day?
Rent day is the day I pay rent to my landlady.
How much do you pay?
I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough. Have any more
I've
blackouts?
had no blackouts, and I haven't been to the beach since our last session. But I think I will today. Do you want to come with me to the beach?
I'm halfway tempted to say yes.
Doctor, I think you're getting a little anxious. If you ever wanted to visit the beach, you can just turn up. It's not mine. You've got a good memory, Doctor. Let's talk dreams. Sometimes I'll dream about a life deep in the ocean somewhere. I head towards it because it's warm and glowing like a beacon. And when I'm at the bottom, it's the most beautiful thing. Like a welcoming sun.
Have you ever seen an
I'm
anglerfish?
home. And then I wake up.
Home?
I don't know about. It's so beautiful. Calls me. It's like I'm in a trance. What does the dream mean, Doctor?
Maybe the dream is... Yeah, it means you're searching for
I
something.
guess. I hate being in the same place for too long. Maybe I'm always searching for paradise or something.
Paradise?
Try again?
Fair enough.
Dr. Dekker used to put my checks on that thing. I guess someone thought they weren't getting value for money. I actually don't have a lot of money. Sometimes a therapy check would bounce, but Dr. Dekker would be okay with it.
Hey,
Oh,
BB.
my checks are fine though, don't worry.
BB. Actually, what do you do for work?
I'm
Darn.
not broke. Men buy me drinks at bars though. Sometimes I'll get away with not paying at restaurants. Isn't that how it is for everybody?
I thought you don't drink.
I don't know. I mainly like drive-thrus. I don't like crowds, and I find it difficult to stay in the same place for too long. I guess I'm a fidget.
A fidget?
Crowds at nightclubs and bars are different.
Everyone's kind of in their own
The lights
world.
are dim. You can slink around without attracting too much attention.
Slink around?
Sometimes I'll kiss a guy in a club, and then he just follows me. Wherever I go. It's creepy.
Agreed.
I don't want everyone seeing that. They follow me wherever I go. Anywhere. Where do you think they follow me, Doctor?
To the beach?
You're not getting it. It depends where they follow me. If they follow me home, they bang on the door for an hour or so, then leave. Other places, they just disappear.
She makes me think of
don't
an
see them
actual
again.
siren. Disappear?
They don't just disappear into thin air. I think they return to the place I found them. But I've not run into the same person twice.
Is she the beacon? Do people ever follow you
Yes.
home?
They follow me home. They're silent. It's like a trance.
Fair.
There was one guy. A real gym body. I let him into the bedroom, but nothing.
He just stood there?
Nothing I did would stop him just staring at me. It was creepy.
Yeah.
I got him to follow me outside, and then I just shut the door.
What happened next?
You
Fair.
It's just good manners to accept when someone offers to buy you a drink. I'm a very good-natured girl.
You don't drink.
I don't know.
Damn it.
Don't you think I'm sweet, Doctor?
Talk to me about Dekker.
Are we still talking about him? And I thought you were just interested in me, Doctor. Dr. Dekker suggested home visits. I think he was probably checking up on his investment. You're not thinking of doing home visits, are you, Doctor?
His investment?
Aren't we all your investments, Doctor? All the time, all the energy you've invested in us? Seeing how we're doing, making sure we're growing correctly?
Did Dekker give you money?
I really don't know.
You know what? That actually is a fair. That is a reasonable question to that, or reasonable response to that question. So, I don't know whether that was a randomly played clip or not, but that was perfect. Yes, you're
I
sweet.
think you're falling for me, Doctor. Don't let that get in the way of helping me. That's good. I'm not sure I can afford any more of your time.
I'll go up to Claire.
I've been to the lake house regularly, keeping an eye on David. I saw the girl again, the one I told you about. She was playing outside.
Did you talk to the girl?
I didn't speak to her this time. Something about her made me feel uneasy. I just watched her from the bedroom window. She'd caught a fish. She was holding it in her hands.
Fish.
I wasn't close enough to see, but for all intents and purposes, it looked as if the fish bit her. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught a fish alive.
Why did she make
I'm
you
afraid
feel
I don't know
uneasy?
the answer.
Darn.
It sounds to me as if Dr. Dekker's murder was a spur-of-the-moment thing. If you were planning to kill someone, you'd bring a weapon with you, wouldn't you? I imagine that the paper spike made a very good weapon, though. It could look quite menacing, glinting in the moonlight.
You're a bit morbid. Moonlight?
So quick to jump to conclusion, Doctor. Obviously, I meant sunlight.
Obviously.
It makes for interesting reading, doesn't it? I can tell you're dying to ask me about it. Fire away. I don't know what you're after, but that's what it says. I can see you're confused. The police say that David is dead, fatally wounded when I stabbed him. The coroner says that David is dead. Everyone says that David is dead. There was even a funeral. But I know
BB.
he's alive.
Does anyone else know? Darn.
David wanted to have a talk about our relationship. Not something any married person wants to hear. He said he'd been with Iris for about a year and that he loved her. He said he didn't love me anymore. Which I know is a lie. You don't just fall out of love with somebody. I reacted badly. I grabbed the nearest weapon I could find, which happened to be the steak knife, and stabbed him with it. There was so much blood. I instantly regretted it. So I fixed him.
Fixed him?
It was about a week later. I brought David back to life. Not with voodoo, not with virginal sacrifice. I just willed it to happen, and it did. Dr. Dekker told me it was possible, but only if you're not buried. He says once you're in the ground, there's no coming back. But until then,
What about
you have a
embalming
chance
fluids?
at resurrection. Yes, resurrection. But now that I've seen the results, I don't think there's anything holy about it. I think reanimation is more an accurate term.
Yeah.
Like, I'm an evil necromancer, raising things.
So yeah, basically death of personality, but the body is sort of...
That's not relevant here.
Yeah, I figured that'd be too specific.
I think his
There we
brain
go.
was already decaying during the week.
Called
he
it.
was dead. Important bits. So when I brought him back to life, I didn't heal him completely. Just gave him life in the state he was in. I mean, he's hunting and killing things and trying to roast them on fires he can only light with matches, but that's about it. He's your basic Neanderthal,
What things does he
so I
hunt?
have a problem. I'm getting tired of...
What
I'm being
problem?
charged with murder because the police don't know he's still alive, and I can't get David to vouch for me for obvious reasons. I think it would raise quite a few more questions than answers, which is why I'm hoping that you'd be able to help me. Considering the circumstances, I'd be grateful if you could see your way to declaring me temporarily insane at the time of the murder, to lessen my sentence. Because I'm not a killer, but I can't prove otherwise. You don't still think I'm a killer, do you, Doctor? He's buried at Hanley Church. You can go see for yourself. There's even a headstone. One of your other patients was a pallbearer. I never forget her face. You should ask him.
Okay, I will. Well, how are you today?
Hello, Doctor. I've been thinking about our last session, and I just wanted you to know that I'm not
Everyone
a bad
has
person.
temptations.
I know taking naked photographs is wrong, but you don't know what it's like until you face the same temptation. I'm assuming you don't know what it's like. Do you have an extra hour, Doctor? Thank God for that. There's someone else in my hour. A
Oh,
hooded figure, watching me and following me. I followed it too.
followed it.
I've nothing interesting to say.
Hooded figure.
I don't know who it is.
Okay.
My initial thought was that it was you. That I told you about my affliction and somehow you'd got it too. Now I think maybe it's the military or some organization that wants to use the hour themselves. Maybe it's Dr. Dekker risen from the dead. I need to talk to you about him. I spied on Dr. Dekker not long before he was murdered. I'm not sure I should tell you what I saw in his basement.
His basement?
I'd been feeling uneasy with Dr. Dekker for some time. I mentioned how he'd changed before, so I began spying on him at
I'm
home.
gonna have to ask about hypnosis.
One night, the basement door was open, and Dekker was returning upstairs. I skipped past him, and there she was, a girl. It was difficult to tell, it was dark, and she was chained. I removed the chains, dressed her, and sat her in the police station. There's no evidence, though. No evidence of what he'd done. But she was free. I saved her. I'm not evil.
What did he
I
do?
destroyed evil.
Destroyed evil?
I believe that Dr. Dekker was a truly evil man, and so should you. I know you record these sessions, Doctor. I'm not going to be filmed saying I wanted him dead. But I did, and so should you. And Doctor, if I wanted to kill anyone, I'd do it in the midnight hour, wouldn't I? And when was Dekker murdered?
And plus, he'd given a thought. He wouldn't have... Here we are. Where did you follow?
Whatever it is that's following me, it doesn't want to catch me yet. If I move towards it, it runs away. And when I follow it past temptations. A bar brawl, an open till, an open bedroom window. Like it's testing me.
Testing you?
I think that I'm becoming a good person, Doctor. I'm ashamed of some of the things I've done, but I'm getting better. The hooded figure, it's testing my morals. Judging me. For what? I don't know.
For what purpose, I'm assuming.
I don't know.
Fair.
I'm actually a classically trained pallbearer. There are a lot of health and safety considerations. Not everybody can do it. Well, properly at least. Occasionally I step in if the funeral director is short-shouldered. I do remember her face. Yeah. She wasn't upset in the usual way. She seemed agitated. Her husband must have been a giant. The coffin was so heavy. I remember because aft port side sprained his ankle. That and he wasn't lifting correctly.
Agitated?
In simple terms.
Fair. Ah.
Nobody gave me the memo that Claire was telling everybody about our arrangement.
Oh, shit.
Sometimes a few slip out the back for student use, too.
The body.
These things happen in all cemeteries. It's best not to broadcast it. No.
Yeah, fair.
I'm surprised I haven't been approached earlier. I mean, my skills in the military. Special ops would be a breeze, wouldn't it? Waltz in past everyone during the midnight hour, get whatever you want, and return to friendly soil. It also makes me think that they might already know all of that, and that they want to get rid of me in case I tell anyone else. Would you do something for me, if they get me?
If they
Would
get you.
Tell Jessica I love her. She didn't really know me that well, but I did love her.
Oh, the woman across the hall.
And also, there's a hard drive in the bottom drawer of my drinks cabinet.
Delete it?
Please destroy it. Please, don't look at it.
Oh. What's on the hard drive?
There's a hard drive with all the pictures I've ever taken
Yep.
of it. The one in the bottom drawer of my drinks cabinet. Don't let Jessica see it.
Bar
I
brawl.
split the brawl up. Is that supposed to...
Up until?
I did nothing. I'm not stealing any more.
Good. And the bedroom window?
I looked in. Watching other people is somehow built into our genes, Doctor. There was an old woman in bed. I went inside. Her bed covers were smoking. I think she'd fallen asleep holding a cigarette. I took the covers and put them in the bath. She'd have died otherwise. And no, I didn't take any pictures.
Good for you.
I don't know what you're...
I just wanted to say it anyway.
Dr. Dekker frequently used that paper spike on his desk as an example. I'm sure he did it with the other patients too.
An
He'd make me
example?
look at it, touch the point to see how sharp it was. He'd tell me that because I think it's sharp, it will hurt me. But if I thought it was nothing, it could pass right through my hand.
Psychokinesis? Yeah, fair.
Jessica is a beautiful woman. I've not spied on her since the incident we talked about. I have real feelings for her, Doctor. We've never connected.
Connected?
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you. It's nice you think I'm capable of such basic interaction with females. But I'm still in awe of her, really. I will think about it, though.
Oh boy. What the fuck path did I just set him on by asking that just that vaguely? Why do you say asked port?
I find using nautical terms to describe the position of pallbearers
So
fitting.
aft, I believe, would be back left.
Plus, most of them are 3 sheets to the wind. You know, drunk. No. I put my hand through a rusty nail at work today. It hurt like hell and bled like I'd been shot. I closed my eyes and thought, this isn't happening. The nail is just a worm, and it will wriggle through me. When I looked back, can you guess what I saw? When I looked back at my hand, it was healed. Look, see?
Psychokinesis.
My hand had healed. The nail had become a worm and was wriggling in my palm. It was like a little miracle, like magic. I shouldn't really say miracle or magic. They're words that Dr. Dekker used when he tried to get you to think things and make them real. But
Sounds like...
do you think it's real, Doctor? That magic is real? Then so it isn't. I envy you, Doctor. I wish I could be so sure. Common or garden rocks? It's actually quite handy sometimes having an archaeological dig going on next door. Although I'd rather there wasn't.
How's
That
the
means
dig going?
nothing to me. Yes, Vienna.
I'm not sure about that one.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Bryce was a pallbearer for David.
Yeah, that one I knew.
Smuggling a body out of a funeral can be difficult,
Yep.
unless you pay the right people. At worst, it's manslaughter. I didn't mean to kill him, I just stabbed him a bit. And although he was dead for a week, I brought him back to life.
But you brought him back to
Does
life.
this mean you won't help me? Was I temporarily insane?
BB, no. He has a habit of eating plastic. No, you were upset, but that does... Angry does not equate to insanity.
I'm going to pretend that I didn't hear that. Let's have a few more sessions before you seal our fates. Or is it that you want something else? Like Dr. Dekker did. Dr. Dekker teased me mercilessly about my electability. He didn't believe I'd reanimated David. Once, he presented me with a dead mouse and commanded me to give it life again.
As a
I didn't,
confrontation.
of course. It's not something I'd throw around lightly. He changed his mind about me eventually. And then he mentioned the girl.
Changed his
Dr.
mind?
Dekker asked if I could prove David wasn't dead, so I took him to the lake house. He saw that I was telling the truth. I can take you to see him too, if you like. Would you like to see David, Doctor? Sorry. I don't know.
Yeah. Yes, I'd like...
Very well. In our next session.
the girl.
Try asking me something I might... He told me he'd locked up a girl in the basement of his house. Just for me. And he asked me to reanimate her. It was Iris. I said I couldn't reanimate something that wasn't dead, and he said that wouldn't be a problem. So I agreed. I just played along. I was hoping it wasn't real. I assumed it wasn't real.
Why?
But he was
did
offering me what I wanted. A temporary insanity diagnosis. It didn't happen. You tell me. What could possibly explain that?
The wound wasn't quite fatal?
If David doesn't exist, then that means that I really did kill him. He really is buried, and I really should be going to prison for a very long time. That just doesn't seem right to me. It's more probable that I reanimated him under Dr. Dekker's guidance.
Okay.
I assure you, David is not a ghost. I've touched him.
I wonder if they planned this one out.
Think, Doctor, think.
Nope. Ooh. Bryce.
The girl who was chained in the basement. Her name is...
Hey! It worked!
How do you know that? Not that it means anything. She wouldn't remember me anyway. Time was frozen. I had no idea there was a connection between those two. Wow. Behind closed doors, eh?
Fair.
Since I brought him back, I felt that there was something different about him, something not quite right. I think it's his brain. But how ludicrous that you can bring someone back in the first place.
Could it be a doppelganger?
It's like that book, Pet Cemetery.
Yep.
Funnily enough, he does smell of earth, but that's because he spends most of his time...
Okay, that's what I wanted to get into. David Hunts.
I don't know.
Fair.
How astute, Doctor. Yes, I did say I hadn't seen Dr. Dekker outside of our sessions. That wasn't a lie. Our trip to the lake house was made during a session.
And
Sorry.
fair. And what was I just thinking? It was based off of something she just said.
How astute, Doctor. Yes, I did say I hadn't seen Dr. Dekker outside of our sessions. That wasn't a lie. Our trip to the...
Okay.
Try asking me...
How are you?
Perhaps ask me, Professor Warwick, I'm a physicist. Where's Dr. Dekker? Is he really? Actually dead? Not a worthy adversary after all, then?
Adversary?
Dr. Dekker challenged me. He tried to use my theories against me. Quantum theories.
Quantum theories. Oh. Did not mean to do that.
Do you really want to know? Dekker's eyes used to glaze over whenever we talked about that. He didn't believe in quantum physics. As if it's something that you can optionally believe in. Well, it started with an experiment.
Experiment?
Have you heard of quantum suicide, Doctor?
Yes, I have actually. Yes, I've heard of it. You...
Nope. I think you're gonna...
fair enough. Yes, I have.
Well, then I'll be brief. According to the laws of quantum suicide, if I were to shoot myself now, then one branch of my timeline would result in my death, whilst the other in my continued existence. I simply applied that logic to something different.
Something different?
Gambling. I set up an experiment whereby I would visit a casino and place a very large bet at the roulette table. Now, I would always bet on odd. Now, the results of this particular experiment were mundane. I won as many times as you would expect according to the laws of probability. But then, I changed a parameter.
Which parameter?
Quantum suicide required a loss of life to make it a realistic thought experiment. So, I simply upped the stakes. Now, every time I bet on odd, I would place everything I had on that one spin of the wheel, and it worked. For a while.
Fair.
Dr. Dekker killed it, and I can't get it back.
Dekker killed it?
Maybe if you asked me that in a parallel universe. Well, my theory, quantum gambling. If the stakes are high enough, you will win every time by simply shifting your consciousness into that branch that wins. It's tricky, but it can be done. Dr. Dekker didn't like that. He saw me becoming rich and powerful, and he hated that. That's why he proffered the hangman's paradox.
Now, that one I'm not...
Well, imagine
I'm
a
not as
judge
familiar with.
sentences you to death. Now, it will be Monday or Tuesday next week, but it will be a surprise. Well, which day do you think you'll be executed?
Monday.
Well, Monday does seem likely, yes. Because if you're still alive on Monday at midnight, then Tuesday won't be a surprise. But if you're sure that it's Monday, then that won't be a surprise either, will it? Dekker tricked me.
Tricked you?
Now, he told me that sometime in the future I would lose a bet, that I would lose all of my money. Now, this didn't seem likely because I had quantum gambling on my side and it was working.
But it's still the seed of doubt.
He made me doubt myself. And then it happened. Recently, I lost everything that I'd managed to build up since Vanessa left me.
Vanessa?
We were married for 14 years, 7 months, and 3 days. Vanessa couldn't have children. At least that's what she told me. She grounded me in reality. I'm not complaining. It's probably what I needed. Part of me always thought one day I'd achieve immortality through science. It wasn't to be, though.
Why did she leave? Because of the loss?
Do you know, you remind me of Dr. Dekker. He always used to ask. Well, yes, it bothered me, especially now that I find out that she's pregnant. Oh, no, it wasn't a rocket scientist that was required, but a brain surgeon, it seems. I have considered putting that neurosurgeon onto his darkest timeline, but I'm not a killer, it would seem.
Another version of you might have done it.
I don't...
Yeah, fair. Why gambling?
Why not gambling? My wife Vanessa left me for a neurosurgeon. Do you know, she emptied our entire combined wealth into her barrister's wallet. I needed more money. Physics provided me with a solution.
Money problems?
No,
Yeah, fair.
honestly, well, I think he feared quantum physics. He didn't like things being explained in terms of science. Almost as if he'd have preferred chaos.
Chaos?
Are you sure that...
Fair.
No, I was at a fundraiser for a charity called Mind Stretch Outreach.
Dekker's.
Don't know how I got roped into that. I can't remember. But it was full of very clever children with bizarre outlooks on life. And Jaya. It was Jaya who asked me to go. It's full of poor kids with very capable minds. I did give them a talk on quantum tunneling once, and they loved it. Not sure it'll put dinner on the table for any of them, though.
Quantum tunneling?
Oh, you're going to have to Google that, Doctor, I'm afraid. I'm not a wolf.
You just mentioned it.
Oh, she's Dr. Dekker's lovely assistant. I imagine she's your lovely assistant now. Yeah, she always smiles and makes me a cup of tea before a session. That smile. Which reminds me, my session. Can we talk about my problem now? I don't... I'm not a gambler, Doctor. I'm a scientist. I need more money. It's true I've run out of money for my research. An opportunity has arisen.
An opportunity?
A very wealthy group of individuals have offered to pay me a very large sum of money if I attend their next private soiree. They don't want a talk or anything like that. They want a practical demonstration.
Demonstration of what?
They'll pay me £1 million if I can successfully survive 6 rounds of Russian roulette. Now, I am worried because of what Dr. Dekker said, but, well, I can't help but thinking that the stakes are so high I can't possibly lose.
Don't
What do you think, Doctor? Should I
Don't.
take them up on their offer?
You can still rebuild. Don't take the offer.
Maybe if you asked me that in a No. No, I suppose you're right.
Because you've already got that seed of
In a darker
doubt sown.
timeline, you probably said yes, and I'm dead now. I earn good money where I work. How do I stop losing it?
Stop gambling.
I take your point. But I suppose to decide whether to continue gambling or to stop gambling is a gamble within itself, isn't it?
So is a gambling addict at this point.
Well, my time is up. Will we be having another session or... No, don't answer that. It'll turn you into a gambler like me. Infectious. Isn't it?
Did I get all of them? Oh, shit. Who was the... Let's see. Professor...
I don't know
Professor... yeah. Let's stretch outreach.
Nope.
Fair. Yeah, I think all of these are fairly exhausted.
I'm fine. Work's fine. Hilda's fading fast. Terry's... Terry.
Animosity there.
Oh, you'd be pleased to know I don't have the locket anymore. I gave it back. All of it. Every single keepsake.
Do you feel better?
That doesn't really matter. You told me to. Well, not in so many words, but you said I shouldn't have kept them. And what with Terry going around telling everyone I stole them, I didn't feel like I really had any choice. The locket, the watch, the ring. But I kept the little bird Sarah Dekker gave me. I wasn't supposed to mention her. I feel like you're Dr. Dekker's mother.
There we are.
She was one of my first patients, but she died a while ago. I don't know.
Yeah, you do. I'm just not asking it correctly. How's Terry?
Terry seems to have backed down since I gave the keepsakes back. Actually, it doesn't seem like she's been very well. Not her usual self. Maybe she's got a bug or something.
Practitioner. Might be a time-related thing on this one. Which, actually, I think... Let's see... Yep, achievements. Practitioner, 500 keywords revealed. And committed is 500 guesses.
At midnight.
David Hunt.
Okay.
I don't know. Hilda's nearing the end. She's been sleeping a lot, not eating much. She hasn't been that argumentative either.
Must be relief on that
Although,
end.
she did give me a vicious scratch yesterday.
A scratch.
It was nothing. I was just trying to give her meds. It's hard, you know? I'm trying to help her, but she keeps fighting me. It'll be better after she's seen her daughter. I've decided I'm going to do it tonight. She hasn't got much time left. You know the answer to that, Doctor. What have we been talking about? What can I do for Hilda that will make it all better? I don't know anything. Which of those do you want me to talk about? I was a bit freaked out. At first, I thought it was a trick. A magic trick.
Wait,
you know?
so did I just
Like
stumble
some
across,
kind
like,
of
he shifted?
therapeutic test. Show the patient this retractable spike and see how they react. But it wasn't. The spike was real. It's true then. I'd heard Dr. Dekker was stabbed, but I didn't know for sure. It's weird that whoever did it would choose the paper spike. Dr. Dekker used to play with it in our sessions sometimes. You know, pick it up, handle it while we talked. I remember once, he pushed the spike through his skin. At this bit, here, between his thumb and his finger. He said he didn't think I'd mind the sight of blood being a nurse and all that, but actually, there wasn't any.
And that's where I got the skin shifting jump.
Dr. Dekker gave me the paper spike to try. It wasn't fake. It was pretty sharp, actually. I don't know how he did it. He said he just thought that it wouldn't hurt him, so it didn't.
Mind over matter, then?
Sorry,
Fair. I wish I could have been that pity.
that's the plan. I know, it sounds unbelievable, like I'm making it up. I wish I could prove it to you somehow. We could try shifting now.
Yes.
Think of someone you really love. It might help if you close your eyes. Are you thinking of? Can you picture them?
Okay, this is gonna be interesting.
Hold on. Sorry. I don't think it's gonna work. On the bright side, that probably means you're not gonna die anytime soon.
I should hope not.
It's tricky. I mean, I'll sound exactly like Hilda's daughter, but I try and keep it vague because I don't become her. I don't know what she would really say. I say things like, it's okay, don't be scared, I love you, Mum, or I love you, Dad. But it doesn't really matter what their relationship's like because it's not really them. I always do the Disney version. The best, most loving version. That's what my patients want to hear. And maybe deep down they know it's not the truth, but it's got to be better than the reality.
We have to
The
accept
reality
reality,
is
though.
that most of these people have been completely abandoned by their families, usually their children. If a mother abandons her children, it's scandalous. But if a son or daughter abandons their mother when she's dying after everything she's done for them, apparently that's just normal. I can protect my patients from that, even if it does take a little smoke and mirrors. Does it really matter if it isn't the truth? Isn't it worth it if it brings them peace? Tell me honestly, Doctor, do you really think that what I'm doing is wrong?
I think it's misguided.
So you're saying I should let Hilda die without seeing her daughter one last time? I don't know if I could do that, Doctor. I'd be letting her down. I'd have to think about it. It just makes things complicated, doesn't it? I knew Dr. Dekker's mother before I started seeing Dr. Dekker. She's dead, and now he's dead. I'm sure you're gonna have a field day with it. Yeah, that's the reason I came to see him. I knew she was dying, but he refused to talk to me unless I booked a session, so I did. And well, here we are. I told Dr. Dekker that his mum was dying, that he should see her before it's too late. But he wasn't interested. It wasn't like he hated her. It was just like it wasn't important. He asked me to take care of it for him. He did send his assistant along to see her once. Sorry, your assistant. It was about the second, third session we had.
Yep. He pushed her into the
He
skin
could
shifting.
tell that I was a good person, that I wanted to help people, and that I should think really hard about how I could do that. That's how I discovered shifting. All Dr. Dekker did was encourage me to think. But the shifting, that's all me. And my mum's a psychic, and my sister's an empath, but I was just ordinary. I always felt like I wasn't special, like I was missing out. But I wasn't. I just hadn't discovered what I could do yet. Sarah Dekker was one of the first ones I tried shifting for. Ask me something else.
Yeah, that one. Too specific.
I didn't really know what I was doing that first time. I mean, I didn't actually expect anything to happen. I just thought, what would really help this woman? I thought maybe she would just imagine that he was there. But it actually happened. I changed into him, Dr. Dekker. It blew my mind. To tell you the truth, I don't really know what an empath is. I should probably Google it sometime.
An empath is someone that... Ooh. Yeah, fair.
My mum's got these spirit guides and they tell her things. Mostly about my love life, it would seem. Is that really what you want to talk about?
Oh, yeah.
As far as I know, it only works on people who are close to death. That's the whole point of it. I have to hold their hand, and they have to think of the person, and they have to be near death. And those seem to be the 3 criteria.
Did you shift for Dr. Dekker? I think that's it for the time being, then. Okay.
You can stop looking at me like that. You've made me do this. And don't try and escape. You're all tied up.
What?
Now tell me the truth. Is this a dream?
Oh, motherfucker. This is,
Answer me.
I did. No, it's not a dream.
That's the wrong answer, Doctor. This is most definitely a dream. Now, tell me, do you believe that people can have kinetic powers?
Yes.
And how do we treat people with kinetic powers? Do we encourage them or do we discourage them?
Discourage.
Very good, Doctor. That's the right answer. Remember it, or there will be consequences. Now, since I'm here, let's have a little bit of fun.
Oh, God!
Shall we, Doctor?
Jesus, fuck. Okay.
There's someone else in my hour.
I brought David back to life.
I removed the chains, dressed her.
Next 4 dreams. And on that rather fucking
Morning,
horrific...
Doctor.
No.
Looking a bit unwell. Are they getting you all wound up? Well, have a look at this. I found it in Dropbox. Apparently, Dr. Dekker lent Mariana some money. Sounds dodgy,
Yep.
doesn't it?
I saw that
I also
coming.
got the toxicology report back from Officer Yates, and shocker, Dr. Dekker had... Sorry, you just have to read it. I should have spoiler alert tattooed on my forehead. And can we not do the grief counselling thing today? I'm all sorts of behind on work, and I'm getting more stressed out watching it all pile up. If you need anything, though, I'm here.
Okay. I'll read through the toxicology report. Oh, hey, Scarlet with 2 T's. Loan agreement. Arrangement fee £1. Okay. Holy shit. So she paid him £1 to get £15,000 for 3 years interest free. That is a fuck of a motive. By signing this agreement, the borrower agrees to accept the sum of the loan amount and to repay the loan amount in full within the terms stated. The sum of the loan will be transferred by the lender into an account designated by the borrower within 14 days of signing the agreement. It is agreed that the loan shall attract no interest, and in lieu of accruing interest, the lender has agreed to pay to the payment of the arrangement fee, which is due before transfer of the loan amount. The lender also agrees to consider the loan repaid in full should they die or become subject to any power of attorney agreement, as long as the event occurs within the term of the agreement. Alcohol. Ethanol positive. Temazepam. Who was the one after Temazepam? Jasmine. Jasmine was after the Temazepam, I believe. Okay. So again, on that rather horrifying fucking note, I think we're done for the night, and I will see you all tomorrow for more of this horrifying game.